All right, welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all energized because we're diving into our third and final topic for today's workshop. And honestly, this one is a real game changer. We're talking about using AI for static testing and requirements analysis. Basically, how to catch bugs before a single line of code is even written.
So yeah, here we are, topic 3. We're going to take all these cool AI concepts we've been talking about and apply them to a scenario that I guarantee everyone in this room has faced on pretty much every single project.
Let's start with the truth that probably hits close to home for all of you. Most defects, they don't start with bad code. They start right here, with requirements that are fuzzy, unclear, or just plain incomplete. You know the feeling, right? You find a huge bug late in the game and you trace it all the way back, not to a coding mistake, but to some ambiguous user story written months ago. It really is the silent killer of so many projects. Finding bugs during testing is expensive. We all know that. Finding them in production, that's a total nightmare. But the real source of the fire, so often, is hiding in plain sight, in that initial user story. So, this is the old way versus the new way. On the left, you've got the classic manual review. It's slow, it takes a ton of time, and let's be honest, we're all human, we miss things. But on the right, that's AI-assisted review. And let me be clear, this isn't about replacing you. It's about giving you a superpower. The AI is incredibly fast, it's systematic, and it is brilliant at spotting those little patterns and gaps that our brains might just skim right over.
And that brings us to the core idea here, static testing. It's a simple concept, really. Think of it like an architect reviewing a building's blueprint. You'd want to find any flaws in the plan before you start pouring concrete, right? Same thing. We're finding defects in the documentation, the user story, before the expensive work of coding even begins. So I want you to think of this AI not just as some software, but as your new analyst. It's a partner, you know? A second pair of eyes that never gets tired, never needs a coffee break, and has seen thousands of project documents. It's a tool to help you shift from being reactive to being proactive and way more strategic.
So how are we actually going to do this in the lab? Well, your mission today breaks down into 3 key steps. First, we're going to feed a user story to the AI and have it generate a whole range of test scenarios. Second, it's going to act like a supercritical reviewer to find all the ambiguities. And third, it's going to pull all of that together and draft a high-level test plan for us.
Let's look at that first step, going from a simple story to a rich set of scenarios. A good AI won't just give you the obvious happy path. Of course not. It'll immediately suggest negative paths, like what happens with insufficient funds. It'll think about boundaries. What if the transfer is exactly at the daily limit? And it'll even dream up these complex edge cases, like a transfer starting at 4:59 p.m. on a Friday, that we might not think of until much, much later. Okay, now for the really fun part. Step 2 is all about exposing the gaps. This is where we use the AI as a detective to find everything that's missing, vague, or even contradictory in that requirements document. And what's so powerful here is how the AI turns that ambiguity into action. So for instance, a user story mentions a daily transfer limit, but doesn't say what it is. The AI flags it and helps you form a super specific question for the product owner. It sees a fuzzy phrase like validate that transfer is allowed and pushes back, asking for these specific rules. It can even catch contradictions that are so easy for us to miss when we're reading quickly. And finally, we get to step 3. This is where we go from just raw analysis to a real strategy. We're going to take all those scenarios and all those gaps we found and use the AI to structure them into a solid, high-level test plan. And the key thing here is it's not just a big, messy list. The AI helps you draft the core parts of a real test plan. It'll help you outline objectives, like what are we actually trying to prove here? It'll help define the scope, prioritize what's critical, and even start thinking about the specific test data you're going to need. So why does this all matter? Let's talk real-world impact. $1.4 million. That was the projected annual savings for a single feature where this exact process was used. Finding these defects before they get coded has a direct, massive impact on the bottom line. This is what shifting left is all about. So the takeaway here is pretty clear. This approach transforms the role of QA. You're no longer just a reactive bug finder, you become a proactive quality hero.
It's all about catching issues before they even become bugs, generating better test coverage faster, and asking those smarter questions that prevent all that expensive rework down the line.
So, as you get ready to start the lab, I'll leave you with this one question to think about. The goal of modern QA isn't just about finding bugs anymore. It's about preventing them. So, how many bugs can you stop before they're ever even written? All right, let's get to it.